What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Business Classroom post-game analysis. Today we're chopping it up about the Utah Jazz victory 96-91 over the Denver Nuggets. I'm here with my guys Mikey and James, and just to start us off, I just want to ask you guys, what are your opening thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the big storyline here, Jazz won, but Keyonte George went down early, late in the first half with the ankle injury. Not really sure what the status is on that, but they were definitely a different team going forward in the second half. They let the Nuggets come back. They made it a close game. They were up by more than 20 this game, so it was nice for us, made it a more competitive game, but obviously real concern here with Keyonte George. He was kind of my front runner for MVP this summer league. Jazz now up to 3-0. So obviously big injury concern there.
Yeah, most definitely. We seen in the first quarter, the Jazz, they just rained a barrage of threes on the Denver Nuggets. And like you said, Keyonte George, you just seen how his injury going down in the second half just really affected this team. So, hopefully he's okay, because I really had the Jazz, now they're 3-0. I had them as favorites to win the Summer League championships. I don't know if you guys checked it out on Summer League Daily yesterday, but if you don't, make sure you watch tonight. The Jazz, they're one of the best teams right now. So Keyonte George going down with a sprained ankle, he's most likely done for the rest of the Summer League. So Ochai Agbaji, he's a great player, a second-year player as well, but I don't know if they'll have enough to really just, without Keyonte George, make that push to win the Summer League championship, because Keyonte George coming into this game was averaging 30 and 8.5 assists. So, his presence would definitely be missed if he doesn't finish the rest of the Summer League.
Yeah, I think those are great points by both of you. I mean, obviously it was a big turnaround after Keyonte went down. I think that was part of the reason that Utah was, for being honest, was able to blow that lead and almost towards the end. Were there anything else, any other factors in specifically in the game besides George going down that you think really swung the tide towards the Nuggets' favor and almost towards a win?
I'll take that one first. Most definitely the Jazz, they started to just coast. So, yeah, I guess it kind of has to do with Keyonte George as well, but you can see they didn't have the same attack mentality, because like I said, they took an early 30-14 lead in the first quarter, I believe, just raining down threes. So they really started to coast and just get comfortable with the lead, sit on it, not be as aggressive as they were, because this really wasn't supposed to be a game. The Denver Nuggets, they're not that good. So, to let them come back, they were just trying to get the win and, just sit on the lead, really.
Yeah, I like what you said there. I think the Nuggets, they're a real well-rounded team. Obviously, they're not the best. The Jazz were the favorites coming in, but I really like what I saw from Hunter Tyson tonight. 19 points, 12 rebounds. He really pushed the tempo, got after it on the glass. Really got the Nuggets kind of back into the game, I think. Especially same thing with Julian Strother, rookie guy out of Gonzaga, 21 points tonight. He really was a catalyst for their offense. I mean, he had a couple looks at the end. If those go in, you don't know. This is a different game. Like, this could be it was a 5-point ending. I mean, he had a couple threes he missed right there at the end. He puts those in. Who knows, man? They could come out on top, but definitely want to compliment those two guys the way they played tonight. They really kept the Nuggets in the game.
Great points, great points. Mikey, I liked what you said about their records. I think that this is it was obviously disappointing for going in for a 3-0 team to lose a lead in that fashion. So I just wanted to highlight what you said. Next question, in terms of Ochai Agbaji, a Jazz guard, he contributed in a few different ways tonight. He led the team in scoring and he had a lot of rebounds. I'm just curious, out of those two or any other way that he contributed, I'm curious, what was your favorite part of his game? What did you like the most in his contribution to the win tonight?
Yeah, I think his ability to get out and transition. I mean, obviously the Jazz forced a lot of turnovers early on the Nuggets. They were able to get there. They got in transition. They had wide open shots. It always starts on defense, right? That's that catalyst leading for the offense. All these NBA GMs and stuff, they're not looking for the next Steph Curry, guy that can jump up, shoot threes. They're looking for the next guy like Bruce Brown, right? Who had an amazing run this year in the Nuggets championship. I think without him, controversially, they don't win the finals this year. Looking for a guy like him, a role player like Javon Carter. I think Ochai Agbaji can be that guy kind of for this team moving forward.
Yeah, most definitely. What I liked from Agbaji tonight was just his awareness and being present. And the fact that he's a second year and he's still playing in Summer League when he doesn't really have to. We see how many guys aren't here in Las Vegas playing in the Summer League as second years. It's just it just shows how dedicated he is to his craft and getting better. But I really liked his presence on the court tonight. He's closing out on everything, fighting over screens. He's just doing all the right things. Yeah. And that's what you love to see in a young player, and you love to even see it more in a second-year player that's trying to get better.
Right. It's a great point. And I think that bouncing off of that as a segue, I want to look at the outlook for players like him, okay, except on the Denver perspective, okay? Despite the loss tonight, did you see any talent on Denver's side tonight that you think could contribute to a regular season run again? I mean, obviously, coming off a championship, there's no better place you could be in the NBA. But in order to defend their title, they're going to need players who are low on the roster to step up in big minutes. Do you think that's possible? And who?
That's going to be tough because, losing Bruce Brown as the reigning championship, he was vital in their championship run. Is going to be tough. And, they really struck gold with a player like Christian Braun out of Kansas. A 3-year player who came in and contributed right away. And if you look at what they did in the draft, drafting Hunter Tyson, Julian Strawther, and Jalen Pickett, all these dudes, they played 3 or more years in college. So the Denver Nuggets, they're trying to strike gold again. No pun intended. So they draft these guys, older guys who are more experienced, so they can contribute right away. My pick would be Hunter Tyson. He's showing me the most promise right now. A pretty big forward, pretty versatile. He was averaging about 18.5 and 4 rebounds coming into this game. He was obviously their best player tonight. I feel like Julian Strawther, he can take that next step. He's just a bit too inefficient for me. He has the size, he has the handle, and like I said, he has the experience. He's played college for 3-4 years. So if he can become a better shooter because he has the looks, if he can just pick his right spots, I feel like those two primarily could help the Denver Nuggets because, boy, would they need it.
Yeah, definitely. Great points there. Aside from, obviously, Tyson and Strawther, I do want to mention some of those guys that kind of get overlooked just because they're at the bottom of this rotation. But, I mean, Colin Gillespie out of Villanova, he played really well tonight. I feel like he fits that role where he kind of knows exactly what he wants to be. He knows his role on the team, and that's perfect. Like, he's not really a guy that scores a lot of points. He can if that's what's needed, but he's a guy that can get in there, run the guard position at the point guard, set up the offense, get other guys involved. So that's something I wanted to bring up. Same thing with Jalen Pickett, right? He's another guard. He's a second-round pick, big presence on the floor, a nice wing, can shoot the ball, drive to the basket, make plays, but he's also unselfish with the basketball, right? He's looking to find other guys, get them involved. So aside from those two guys, Tyson and Strawther, I want to mention Pickett and as well as Gillespie.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I really like Gillespie and Pickett's game tonight. I think that they are beginning to carve out more of a role.
Yeah, I was just going to say no disagreement from me here. I agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So kind of pivoting here, we're looking at Summer League. We're looking at standings, right? Obviously, Jazz won tonight, and so did the Lakers, the Rockets, and the Celtics. They're all 3-0. How do you feel what do you think your chances for the Jazz to win it all this summer are? And second question, how do you feel they stack up against those other 3 teams?
I mean, yeah, I can jump in. Obviously, we mentioned with the Keontae George injury, it's going to be tough for them to compete and stay at the top of their game. Obviously, a couple more games left in Summer League, so it's going to be interesting to see what will happen. Is Abaji going to play, right? Because he's been a proven player. He played 22 games, or he started in 22 games. He played 59 games last year. So he's been a rotation player. He knows what it takes to play in the NBA. Are they going to shut him down because Keontae George got hurt? So that's like, what do you guys think? You think he's going to play? I mean, what do you think, Mikey?
We already seen Amen Thompson go down with a high ankle sprain. He's done. So my guess would be that Keontae George is done as well. And like I said, Jazz were my favorite, so it does suck. But how they fare against those other teams without Keontae George, I just don't think they'll have the firepower to really compete with them. Mm-hmm. We would need Ochai Agbaji to go nuclear and Luka Seminac, who I really like tonight as well. We'll just need them to go to that next level. And if the Rockets, if Jabari Smith and Tari Eason's more second-year players, if they continue to play throughout this summer league, they'll easily become the favorites to win it all. But I also feel like we can't sleep on a team like the Detroit Pistons, especially if their second years play as well. They have Asar Thompson. We've seen his athleticism tonight. We've seen what he could bring to the game. And if you combine that with Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, and the size of James Wiseman, they're 2-1. So they're right up there with the Rockets and the Lakers. So they can definitely take Jazz's spot in the Summer League tournament and go on to win it all if their second-year players play.
Yeah, I want to add on that. You briefly mentioned the Lakers a little bit. Max Christie's been playing unbelievable. He's a proven guy. He can play in the league, but he's kind of propelled them. They're 3-0 as well, so they're a little sleeper team, in my opinion, who can compete. They still got a chance to win it all, so definitely it's going to be fun to see what these guys can do. You also mentioned Luka Samanic, 14 points, 8 rebounds in the last game. Today he also played well on the glass. He got 14 points, 7 rebounds. So he's a consistent scorer for them. Born in Croatia, drafted 19th overall by the Spurs. 2019 kind of bounced around playing overseas, signed a 2-way deal with the Knicks, and now he's on guaranteed money with the Utah Jazz. So he can be kind of a guy that can fill in when some of those guys get injured, step in, make minutes for the regular season, because in the end, that's what these guys are competing for. They're competing for minutes, and this guy's got a multi-year deal. He's already on the team. He can fill in when a guy gets hurt.
Yeah, great points on both sides. It's going to be really interesting to see how it shakes up. And
just to add one more thing, Luka Samanic, he played only 7 games last year. If he keeps this up, he'll be playing much more, much more.
I agree. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes up, and we look forward to watching it unfold. That's all the time we have for today. That is SBC OUT. We're out.